Are you a member of our Funk family? Do you want to be on our Funk Family Showcase as a special guest? Well, all you have to do is email us at funkinterns@gmail.com. Your big influences. So
for sure.
It's really interesting because I actually, he got mentioned in 2 of my academic courses this year. Mm-hmm. One of my Hebrew history professor actually said that he teaches a class on Bob Dylan, and it calls his music like the music of tragedy, like tragedy as a genre. And so I was wondering like what your take on it was, and like how Bob Dylan influences you, and how you sort of see yourself as part of the new shape of folk to come.
Yeah.
To coin a term of yours.
Well, define what you mean by take on that. I heard you use that terminology.
Well, I guess like your like interpretation of what folk music really is, and where it's going, and what you're doing.
I have some of the people who grew up on Bob Dylan may totally disavow what I say here, but I think to me folk music is music of the people, and just even, I'm not like well versed in like every single tradition, but it's what I said it is. It's the music of folks, and it's all about being very simple with your instrumentation,
right.
And it's just about picking up something like a guitar, and just playing a song and playing around your friends and playing around, the town, the village. Everywhere you go, there's some sort of folk tradition, whether it's like Scottish folk, there's Spanish folk, then there's American folk, and then there's Irish folk and English folk music. It's really just about being very simple and being accessible to people, and that's what folk music means to me.
Right.
And I think where folk music is now is obviously it's been kind of coined and turned into if you have a guitar and you're playing and you're playing the guitar, then you're playing like what people might consider folk music. But in my opinion, I think folk music has become, just because it's been so heavily doctored and moved around, and it's become kind of like a rich man's type of music, in my opinion.
Interesting.
I actually think hip hop is folk music now. It's so easy. All you need to do is just press play, and if you have a mic, or if you're just hanging around with friends and you just play some kind of loop of something, that's way more accessible than it is to buy a $150, $200 guitar. Really, with that, you just need access to internet, and back in the 70s and 80s when the tradition was first coming along, it was really just like, okay, I have this record player. I'm gonna spin something and maybe like get some kind of loop out of it, and it was really just hip hop is so grassroots, and it's the same kind of grassroots that folk music used to be.
That's a really great explanation. You should like write a whole dissertation on that.
I would like to. That'd be really fun.
You should put it on your blog or your website or whatever. Okay, so let's get into your first song, and then I'll ask you about your new project, about everything. And
sure.
Don't worry, I'm going to ask you lots of other things. But what's the name of this first song?
This first song is it's a very long song, so I'm going to do the second half of it. It is part 2 of The Tired and Poor.
Okay, great.
children go? Are they torn from their mothers with no reason or plan? Will they get into gangs or sold into slavers' hands? Where, oh where did the 1,500 children go? Where, oh where did did the 1,500 children go? Are they thrown into cages? Do they sleep on the floor? Are they praying to a God that's on our dollars and quarters? Where, oh where did the 1,500 children go? 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 Everyone says they would fight off a Nazi until it's the brown kid getting torn from his family. I hope their parents that are seeking asylum find silver linings in the jails that we send them. Escaping wars just to become a criminal. Dividing families in a nation indivisible. What's it really about? Keeping us all safe? Or is it deep-seated hate from another race? Well, I hope what you've done's gonna keep you awake and it rips at your conscience till you're dead in the grave. Have you taken children, sent them to broken homes? ICE, La Migra, American Gestapo. Where, oh where did the 1,500 children go? Where, oh where did the 1,500 children go? I guess we don't need the tired and wired, the undesired and poor.
What's up, y'all? It's your man Fuge, and I'm here at Funkadelic Studios. We do a show here every second Saturday. It's called Level Up Showcase, and it features youth performers and veteran artists, some of the best in the city and out of the city. So do you want to perform? Do you want to level up? Hit us up on Instagram or Twitter at Level Up Showcase. Every second Saturday. I'll see y'all here.
Wow, that was really touching. That song got to me. I feel like, wow. It's that song. I think I know what it was about. It's about our current administration a little bit.
Yes, it is.
Some people call him Fart. I'm not going to say his name.
Mr. Fart.
Mr. Fart.
I don't care to say his name. I'd rather talk about.
Yeah.
I'd rather talk about the people that
Yeah.
that not only him but many people are choosing to affect.
Yeah. No, please explain that, because I feel like it got to me, because it's sort of the word tired and poor, like that was originally the slogan. Is that originally the motto of America was like the Statue of Liberty, holding your torch, and it was like the slogan at some point was like, bring us your tired and your poor, and so that song is about like we don't need them. It's like we're going to turn everybody away.
Well, I mean, it's not saying that.
No, I know it's not. It's like pointing to the people.
Out
that's what they're saying.
How the people in power who so hold up the ideals of America are really not adhering to them at all. They don't really care about
They're hypocrites.
About it. They're hypocrites.
I feel like that's such an important and relevant song for what we're going through today, and it's like it's really moving to listen to it.
Thank you so much.
And it's like that line about like the Nazis, where it's like I say I'd kill a Nazi, but when it's a brown kid whose life is at stake, I don't care. Like it's so it's like it's so amazing how some people only look out for their own. Yeah, and I feel like it's really in the spirit of folk music and like the Joan Baez and Bob Dylan, Joni Mitchell tradition to like write about like social issues that are relevant, but I feel like they keep coming up over time.
And I'm one who thinks traditional folk music has kind of strayed away from it. Like I believe the last huge just groundbreaking folk album, I say groundbreaking in big air quotes, is probably Mumford & Sons, maybe Ed Sheeran.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna say that. Yeah.
And they have some good songs, but it just really doesn't fit that how I see folk music, which was really very kind of punk and cared about social issues.
Right.
Woody Guthrie famously had on his guitar right up on the top and around. It said "This machine," it was one little spot right here, and written on his guitar it said "This machine kills fascists." Yeah,
that's still a very famous quote. I think that was also mentioned in my anthropology class. Like I think it says something that like 2 academic courses at Hunter College mention folk music and folk, like, people who were like folk sensations back in the day, because I feel like that it says that it's still having profound effects and it's going down in history what some of these people have done.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I like that. So is this is going on your new album, right?
No, so that's on my EP, which is out right now. It's self-produced, kind of like a little bedroom folk album.
Cool.
And yeah, that is the second part of one song. It's a whole like 5-minute song.
I know the rest of it.
I don't want to take up so much time, but that's the second half of the song Tyrant and Poor. It's a little 7-song thing. It's on everything.
Right.
Yeah. The next project is called The Perennial Millennial.
Right. And you explain. I love that title so much, and I know what it means because we're friends, and like you told me, and also because I looked it up. But it's such a great, like, I love that title. So just explain to the audience what that means and how it's
Perennial Millennial.
Yeah.
So it kind of comes from the idea of flowers. Perennial flower is one that doesn't die as the seasons change, and it just so happens to rhyme with millennial, which is one of those generations where they're either mistaken for the what they're calling the Gen Z or the I generation, so they're mistaken a lot for that, and they're just always blamed for any societal ill or any industry that is failing, and they, pundits, writers, baby boomers like to go, oh, well, this bad thing is happening. It must be those darn kids. It must be those darn kids. So I wanted to write an album just about that idea of like, oh, well, we're destroying everything. Is that right? And kind of question that, and then obviously there are just a bunch of songs that aren't about that necessarily, but it's definitely like focused on that, and there's a loose concept going through the album. That's so cool, and just to respond to that, I think it's pretty hypocritical of baby boomers to talk about us that way. Yeah. Because I think we're called the echo boomers, actually. That's another nickname for the millennial generation, and I think I could be like his older sister. I'm the same generation. I'm like a few years older, but we're the same generation. So it's some people refer to us as the echo boomers because a lot of us are the children of baby boomers, and so whatever we are doing wrong, it's like because of what they taught us. But also, I feel like it's so that concept is so interesting in terms of your album and in terms of your style, because like the people who influenced the baby boomer generation were the Bob Dylans, and the people who had the people who were doing like the big folk renaissance that came in the 60s. Yeah. And I feel like now it's almost like we're a continuation of that in a way, or we're kind of like we're echoing that. We're definitely like, I feel like we're like the neo hippies or something. There's like a thesis to be made for that, and I feel like you're definitely bringing it out in your songwriting. So could you we're going to move into your next song, and you could explain how that applies. This is from is this from the album? Yes, this is from the album. Mm-hmm.
And so what's the name of the song?
The name of the song is Background Actors.
Oh, cool. So explain what that's about.
Background Actors is kind of a little bit of a manifesto for millennials, but it's also about feeling like the people in your life don't treat you as a human, but treat you as kind of like, oh, you're meant as a background actor. You're not a lead character in their life. So that's what that's about.
I can relate to that. I can identify. Okay, let's hear it.
With all the destruction, all the depravity, and all the construction here. Oh, everyone's gonna look down on you like an alien specimen. But I ain't Sigourney Weaver, I ain't Richard Dreyfuss circa 1977. But I just want a job and I want some security. hear you scream into your space heater. So don't ask me nothing, I won't ask you neither. But I just want a job and I want some security. Yeah, I'm a goddamn human, not a commodity. And I don't wanna be a background actor for your party. And I don't wanna be a background actor for your party. Oh well, oh no, dude, Leonardo DiCaprio ain't coming up to sweep you off your feet, baby. Johnny Depp, though, no one's out here shooting. And I don't wanna be a background actor for your party. And I don't wanna be a background actor for your party. No, 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 no,
What's going on, guys? This is Josh here, also known as J La Soul. I am the host and creator of the Soul Sessions that are here at Funkadelic Studios every last Friday of the month. Alright, so please come out. And the Soul Sessions are exactly that. They are a session for everyone's souls. You know, like, life is crazy, everyone has their challenges and their tribulations. The Soul Sessions is a place where you come, just get that healing from music and just the vibes that are around in the area. And from all the different kinds of artists. Please come out. We have 10 open micers. Anyone can sign up for that. So just show up early. And we have 3 amazing features for you guys every time to just blow your mind. So definitely come out every last Friday, and we hope to see you guys.
Okay, so that was background actor from the new album Perennial Millennial. So
Yes.
you have a fundraiser for that, right?
Yes,
Online.
I have a fundraiser. It's up on Indiegogo.com. You can go to my Facebook, my Instagram, and find it there. And yeah, we're trying to. I don't know why I'm saying we. Trying to raise $3,000 for recording as well as advertising and music video if there is extra for that. So
Nice.
we're about 2 weeks in. We got about 2.5 weeks left on it. So crossing my fingers and hope I can make an album.
The Perennial Millennial, Evan
Yeah.
Alexander Moore. Donate to his campaign. Donate.
Donate.
You'll be very happy with the results.
Yeah, you can get, if you donate, you can not only get a copy of the album, but you can also get vinyl, you can get personalized poetry, birthday songs, a demos album for said album, and then one of my favorites, I hope people utilize it, is you can dare me to do things. So you can dare me to drink hot sauce or to whatever you want, whatever people want me to do, as long as it doesn't threaten my life or anything.
Yeah. So all you sociopaths, you can't join in the fun.
Yeah.
But only nice people can donate to the campaign and ask for stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, only nice people. But that's fine. 96% of the population is nice people. Only 4% is sociopaths, right? You would know. You're a psychologist.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
I don't know about that one.
Oh my
Or
God.
maybe.
Yeah, there are different theories. But anyway, so yeah, I love that song. I feel like I don't know any other songs about background actors, but I think it's it's a really cool song. I like it a lot. I like what you did with your voice at the end.
Oh yeah.
So I want to ask you about how you first got into music. Do you have any formal training? Because I know you have a really great instrument. You sort of remind me of Johnny Cash when you use your lower register, and you sort of you sound like you could sing any type of music.
Well, no, I do not have any classical training. I started singing because my high school was doing Little Shop of Horrors.
Oh my God!
And my little sister, who was huge theater buff, was
I know her.
Evan, you need to be a part of this. You need to do it. And I was
God.
whatever.
Yeah.
Musicals are dumb. Not about it.
Oh my God. Yeah.
And then, but she eventually got me to do it, and she like pushed me and helped me to like audition, and then I got the role of the plant.
Oh my god, I forgot. You told me this.
Yeah. And so I did pretty well, and then for it I went to a vocal teacher to kind of hone it and hone that kind of lower register for the role. And then ever since then I've been sort of into singing, but I was more interested in the acting side of it as far as like musical theater goes.
Right.
But that was my first kind of foray into that. And I actually had a garage band in high school called we were called the Marching Gnomes, and I played the drums. And for that, I really just knew all about rhythm, but I didn't really know how to write any songs. But that was kind of part of the foray into writing. Was I would try to write songs and be kind of like a Ringo or something.
Oh wow!
And, so I never got to have a song with the band because I was not a good writer. But that was still probably the first foray into music and making music for me, was being
in high school,
the drummer for that band.
That's cool.
College rolls around. My sister has a Fender guitar that she never uses, and so I kind of barter with her and am able to take the guitar up to college just to mess around and just have something
nice.
To kind of put creative energy into. And it wasn't until I had graduated college that a friend of mine told me to listen to Bob Dylan. And
oh wow!
Very specifically, and I knew of Bob Dylan. I heard all the famous songs, and listen to like Highway 61. I was like, oh, okay, this is pretty good. And then she was like, no, you need to listen. And so I was like, okay, whatever. And I put it on. I think I was listening to Freewheelin' Bob Dylan, and it just clicked. There was just some mechanism in my brain that just went, and then all of a sudden I was like, oh my god, I get it. And then from there, that was the beginning. I was like, okay, now I need to write. And so I just wrote, and it was all awful until I got to one song, which is on my EP called When Home Isn't Home. It was the first song I wrote where I was like, oh wait, that's the thing.
Yeah.
That's the thing I'm gonna do.
Oh my god.
And so from there, it's just been uphill, and just kind of working through, writer's blocks and finding amazing songs and then finding great lyrics, and then just kind of,
Yeah.
That was the start of the journey.
Wow, that's a great story, because I feel like I knew a few of those things, but I never knew the entire story. And I always find it interesting when people come to singing and songwriting and performing as adults for the first time, and I was kind of like that too. I didn't start writing songs until I was 21, and I didn't really write any. I wrote some awful stuff when I was a teenager, and then I threw it away. I had all these unfinished lyrics, and then one day I was just really angry, and I wrote this really angry song. It's called I Want to Shake Her Hand. And when I was 21, I was okay, it came out. Because sometimes it happens that way. Sometimes you need to reach adult maturity before you you get into stuff. You don't always have to be 7 years old playing the violin or whatever. And I feel like people need to know that you can find music in any sort of way and at any age. Yeah. You don't have to be 2 years old and at the classical piano. But it's great. It's great if you are. Either way, it's fine. And it's sort of that's so interesting. And I think you have so much talent too, because you sound like you could sing any genre, but you don't have that much formal training. And I think people need to also know you don't necessarily have to have formal training to sound good. Sometimes you can teach yourself. I mean, formal training is nice, and they can help you get a head start. But if you have the instinct for it, you can do it. Either way. Yeah,
as long as you're putting yourself out there and you're being true to yourself, you're a step ahead of any classically trained musician and who may have just no idea how to write a good song or write a touching lyric, but you have someone who like doesn't know how to sing, doesn't know how to write songs. One of my favorite artists is Daniel Johnston. He has the voice of a dying cat, and he plays guitar like this.
Oh my god.
With his thumb, and it's
With
real.
His thumb. Oh my god.
But he lives in Austin, and he's a legend around there.
Wow.
Because he would just like write and just perform on the spot into little tapes, and then he would just kind of like go around Austin handing them out.
Oh my god.
And this was in the 80s, and he finally like got to prominence in the 90s because everyone started like, yo, actually this guy's an amazing songwriter.
Wow.
And they have his really famous "Hi, how are you" mural up in Austin. Like everyone goes and takes pictures there.
Oh my god.
But yeah, so he had no training at all. He did not have the best voice, both tonally and even pitch wise.
Mm-hmm.
Not the best guitarist. But if you listen to some of his songs and you listen to some of his lyrics, you cannot deny that he was not at least, some semblance of an amazing writer.
That's really cool. I think like that's the thing about art and about the performing arts in particular. I think especially about singing, being a singer-songwriter. It's like there's a certain point where somebody breaks all the rules, and it's still great. Like, and I think that's what we need to like remember, because it's hard. There's a lot of tension, I feel like, in the artistic world about that, because I have a classical background, and like I love classical music, but some of the people in that world were like super strict, and it's like you have to learn this, you have to know how to do counterpoint, which nobody even uses anymore. Literally, like nobody writes with counterpoint. So it's kind of like you have to study it and then like never apply it.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
I think like in terms of music, in terms of being a singer-songwriter, I feel like individuality is one of the most important things, that you have your own staple on things, and that sort of sometimes that can like just take what people think are the rules of success and just like throw it out and create a whole new thing that's unprecedented, which I think is why I became a singer-songwriter, and probably like one of the reasons that it appeals to you as well. So what else? Oh, and I need to ask you about your Texan heritage, because I always love to ask people how they're from, but where they're from and how that influences their songwriting skills.
Texas heritage. Well, I mean, so many amazing musicians from across the genre spectrum are from there.
Yeah.
George Strait, Lyle Lovett. I don't think Johnny Cash wasn't from Texas, but he definitely wrote a couple songs about Texas, if I remember correctly. St. Vincent is from there. Erykah Badu, Beyonce, obviously, Travis Scott, DJ Screw, UGK, rest in peace, Pimp C, and yeah, there are just so many amazing artists from the state of Texas, and it's so varied, because like I said, you have amazing like R&B stars like Erykah Badu and like all R&B. Then you have pop with Beyonce, and then you have hip hop with Travis Scott and UGK and Ghetto Boys, and then all the way over in the country scene you got Lyle Lovett, and you got George Strait, and then even over in the alt rock and the indie rock scene you have St. Vincent, who is practically like a guitar legend, and she's amazing. So I think that was the influence of Texas, is just bringing in all these different things and trying to like incorporate it and make it my own somehow. Plus just the flat, just long-reaching lands, Whataburger, Tex-Mex. That's kind of the influence there.
Interesting.
That doesn't show up in the music, but
it's still in there in your subconscious mind.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, how did you decide to come to New York? Like, what's the relation? How's that been for you? Like being a Texan and then going to New York. Was it a culture shock, or was it like fun? Was it nice and blah?
Well, I'm from Houston. Houston's a huge city, although it's huge in kind of like in length and distance.
You have to drive.
New York is very much like probably as big as Houston, but just consolidated onto one, island and 5 boroughs. So there's definitely like culture shock in getting used to stuff. Also, you guys don't have Whataburger or good Tex-Mex, so yeah, exactly. But you guys have the pizza. You guys got the pizza, the Italian, the bagels.
The bagels, yeah.
Bagels are
The
amazing.
Polish and Jewish bakeries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And delis, oh my god. That was such a saving grace
Oh my God.
in my life, was delis and figuring out that I could get a meal for $6. I was like, how am I gonna make it? And then I walk in the deli and it's like, oh, $6 for this amazing sandwich.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Let's do it.
Yeah, New York can be expensive, but there are these hidden gems of food that you need to find, and then sometimes they will be in delis. Like you can get a really good deal. There's one in my neighborhood, Washington Heights. Yeah, that's so cool. So you sort of, I feel like you fit in here pretty well, because I feel like it's the Houston and the
Houston's like
zeitgeist.
about to be coming up on being the third biggest city. I think it's about to overtake Chicago.
Are you serious?
I think so. Yeah.
Wow. And the weather's
Houston right now is already like the fourth largest city. Yeah, and the weather in Houston is amazing when it's not summer. But
right now it's like 65 degrees or something, or like 75 degrees there.
It's easy pickings for New Yorkers.
I can't imagine.
You guys will definitely struggle in
learning how to drive.
If you're a New Yorker and you live in Houston, you're gonna struggle in the summer. Oh, you are gonna hate it. People could fry eggs on the ground.
That's interesting. I sort of in New York.
Not really, but you could.
In New York, we have freezing and boiling. We have two extremes. We don't really get. So I feel like I prefer boiling and moderate to boiling and freezing if I were to move there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I'd also have to learn how to drive. New Yorkers, some of us reach adulthood without ever learning how to drive.
That was a weird thing for me coming
really
here. I was like, oh yeah, I know how to drive, and then
you're in pod. Could you be our new prince?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
As far as getting to New York, that was really all Bob Dylan's doing. That was all Bob Dylan's doing. Plus, there were kind of some extra factors in there. I knew I wanted to go to grad school, and I knew I wanted to get out of Texas.
Right. Yeah.
And experience a different city, a different life, and so those two mixed in with me discovering Bob Dylan and me having this musical reawakening made me go, let's follow in the footsteps of my icon in life, and let's pack it up and go to New York and see what happens.
That's so inspiring.
Now I'm here following that dream.
So do you want to do? What's your next song that we're gonna do?
My next song is "Backbone of America," and I would like you to sing backup on it.
And can you tell us what the song's about?
Give
an intro.
The Backbone of America. It is about the things about America that have been ingrained with us for history. The backbone where everything kind of starts, the DNA of America. And it's kind of about that. It goes through 5 different verses that kind of analyze what the backbone of America is. And so, yeah.
Nice. All right. Well, I'll ask you more about it later. Let's do the song.
Down the maternity ward, where newborn babies are passing notes, discussing the next world war. Your sergeant came by, your sons died in Iraq. Now I know what they were talking about. Now they were talking about the backbone of America. Out by the river in Mississippi, goddamn, I hear murmurs down the trail. Friends who find going deaf or blind, slurs hurled their way. And he was walking with melanin and shot him in the back. Now I know what they were talking about. Now they were talking about the backbone of America. Whispers know. Now I'm waist deep in the Hudson, scrounging around. Now I know what my parents were talking about. They were talking about the backbone of America. And I found strife and amphetamines. I found amphetamine in a Texas dive bar. But the land of the free, she was a calling me, asking for a better way. Out on the highway, I saw the sunrise. I asked the vagabond if I could be reborn. See, they issued a draft and they raised my taxes, asking for all I had and more. The trip kept going, but I didn't give up hope. I had found what I was looking for. All thanks to the backbone of America. Well, for every painful knock in my back, there's another that's gonna push us forward. For every bone that takes away the ones that we love, there's another that's gonna give us hope. Yeah, I hear it in every friend, every philosophy, every singer that's ever inspired me. They were singing about the backbone up. Put your middle fingers up to the backbone up. Oh, who gives a fuck about the backbone up? Oh, well, let's raise a glass to the backbone of America. Oh, come on now. One, two, three, one, two, three.
If you are a musician in NYC and you haven't visited Funkadelic Studios yet, what are you waiting for? We've been around for about a quarter of a century, offering services to musicians of all skill levels. Some of the services we offer are rental, repair, recording studio, rehearsal space, rock and roll club, and of course, retail. That's right, we can sell you equipment. And you can even do your events here. We have a beautiful, spacious room right back there. It's called Room 1, and we have lots of other rooms where you can do lots of other things. So come on down. That was Backbone of America. Yeah, I love singing on that. We do it, like the instrumentation on the album is really cool. There's a banjo on it.
There's a banjo. We have a saw, and then like piano, bass, electric guitar, and then her amazing vocals are also on that track.
It's super fun to sing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess we should wrap things up because it's a very long episode. But it's like, I love that song because I feel like it shows the dark side of America too. Like it shows the balance of like good and bad and how we associate these things with traditional American values. But they're actually like kind of nasty, some of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're nasty, but I tried with the song to be also, fair and capture what I think, the founders of America were trying to get to, which was, highlight that people are also amazing and they can cry for each other and they can keep moving forward despite indifference and differences. And,
Cool. All right. Well, this has been great having you, Evan Alexander Moore, the perennial millennial.
Yes.
And so just follow him on Facebook. So do you go by Alexander Moore most of the time, or
I go by my full
Evan
Alexander Moore.
Evan Alexander Moore. So just find him on all the media, Facebook, website, and donate to that campain so you can see,
donate to the
so you can hear the wonderful music.
So you guys can hear not only that song, but but also background actors, which I played today, and then all the other songs I have I've got cooking up here in a full length album thing. So yeah.
Cool. All right. Funk Family Showcase. Evan Alexander Moore, Perennial Millennial, Samantha Echo, and Jade and Troy are helping out with the camera work and the social media. Yay!
Shout out to them. Shout out to them.
Shout out to them, Jade and Troy. All right. Bye, everyone.
What's going on, guys? It's your boy Troy Weeks Music, and you're now tuning into Funk Family Showcase here each and every Friday, live in Funkadelic Studios in the heart of New York City. Each and every week we have a new artist that we're showcasing, giving you a little bit of talent with a little bit of an interview. So kicking off today's episode, we have with us today Super King. What's up, brother?
I'm chilling, man. I'm doing fine. How are you?
I'm doing good. I heard some great things about you.
Oh, yeah?
I saw your sound check, so I'm excited. But we're going to talk about the great things in the end.
All right.
We repping Queens, Jamaica, Queens.
That's what it is.
Shout out to Jamaica. You know, we always got to give a shout out from where we from and represent and keep it real. That's how my grandmother taught me, so that's what we do. So he's going to be hitting us with 2 tracks today. You can actually get those tracks right now on his Bandcamp. They're now available, so you can check it out there. First song is going to be, tell me what it is. I know the album.
Nights in Shining Darkness.
Nights in Shining Darkness off his album, Gone is the Illusion. Ladies and gentlemen, first song, Super King. Let's get it.
Yeah. Super King Armor, Funkadelic Studios. Nights in Shining Darkness. Here we go. Yeah. My nights in shining darkness. We dwell again. Set my nights in shining darkness. We dwell again. My nights in shining darkness. We dwell again. It may sound strange and ambiguous to some, but I can feel the emotions of other humans. A deep empathy from the time I was young. For example, I'd have a great day and good fun. Then someone high strung, clearly so glum, under their thumb, I am pressed and so done. A shadow inhaled and then passed through the lungs. That's where a night in shining darkness comes from. A man at his post, haunted by ghosts. As long as its energy always stays close, I'm bound to the pain, wrapped round my throat. The night in shining darkness, no chainmail for coat. So overwhelming, I keep to myself. Sensory overload, circuits would melt. Hours of scrubbing to bring back my health. I wipe myself so hard, I gave my skin welts. Writing through pain always helps out a bit. But if their pain go away, will I cease to exist? I don't know. Here comes the hook, y'all. Let's do it. My nights in shining darkness. We dwell again. Set my nights in shining darkness. We dwell again. My nights in shining darkness. We dwell again. My nights in shining darkness. We dwell again. As I matured, new strength had been forged. My focus became sharp as a sword. Negativity was strings and some chords. Pinpoint its location like blips on a board. Like hearing a Ford with ears to the floor. I can feel it coming like never before. Like clothing extra layers in the cauldron. Under piles of bodies, the heat is engulfing. It came back to me once where I was working. This shorty caught cancer. Death had been certain. Her depression had altered my person. When she left the building, I felt a resurgence. New optimism, sunlight through curtains. Now depending on the link I have with the person, I can feel their words before they're emerging. Feel their pain through distance and deterrent. That night in shining darkness, guys through the currents. All who struggle come and caught and undeserving. The band leader orchestrate type for the journey. Feel their pain, I know my soul is burning. My nights in shining darkness. We dwell again. Set my nights in shining darkness. We dwell again. My nights in shining darkness. We dwell again. My nights in shining darkness. We dwell again. Nights in shining darkness. Darkness. We dwell again. Dwell again. Nights in shining darkness. We dwell again. Nights in
y'all? Listen, man, Fuge, and I'm here at Funkadelic Studios. We do a show here every second Saturday. It's called Level Up Showcase, and it features youth performers and veteran artists, some of the best in the city and out of the city. So do you want to perform? Do you want to level up? Hit us up on Instagram or Twitter at Level Up Showcase. Every second Saturday. I'll see y'all here.
All right, guys. And that was Nights in Shining Darkness off his album Gone is the Illusion, available now on Bandcamp. Super K.
Yes, it is.
Yes, give us a little background of that song.
Oh man, so it's like the meaning of that is like, well, I have a high level of empathy, so I feel people's emotions all the time, and you know, there was years I didn't understand that. I thought I was always like depressed and there was something wrong with me, and then, you know, I matured and grew into it and started to realize the separation between how I actually feel and then how I feel when I'm around certain groups of people.
Interesting.
And that started to like really change my perspective on who I was, like my identity and everything. Because I'm like, yo, I'm not really bugging out. Like, there's other people around me that are going through some real shit.
Right, and you can just, you're like a receptor, you can feel that.
Absolutely.
And around what age was that when you realized, like, the separation of, hey, it's not me, I'm not going through this, I don't feel this way, it's actually a gift that I have.
Yeah, dude, it's later, man. It was like, I would say like 30s, you know, I'm in my early 30s, I started realizing that, and I was just like, yo, this is bananas. I didn't even know this was going on. Like, I used to be laying in my room, like, freaking out, like, you know, sweating and just, like, being very uncomfortable around people and stuff like that,
wow.
Not realizing, like, you know, this is other people's stuff. And now it's like I'll be around, I can really tell the difference because I'll be around somebody who's having, like, a really bad day. They'll, like, touch me, and then all of a sudden my entire day is like screwed up. Like,
wow.
I'm depressed and everything.
It's that deep.
It's that deep. But the good thing about it is that I can recognize it now. Like, this is not my stuff I'm dealing with. They've just passed on their heebie-jeebies to me, you know what I mean? And so I'm just, you know, working through it now. And so the Nights part is like, it's that maturity of like, okay, now I know how to protect myself from this. So, you know, I'm safeguarded from all those other emotions and stuff like that.
Got it. Nice and shiny dark. Got it.
Yeah.
Now, so from all that darkness, you
Now you get these
Gotcha.
nights. Yeah.
Makes sense. I like to ask questions. I like to know because words are power, and I feel like other people need to breaking down the meaning so people can understand it. Pretty helps people understand it more, so that you can really get more in depth, in tune with what your music is doing. So
Absolutely.
All right. And the next song is called
The Return.
The Return. That's what I'm
Yeah.
thinking. Okay, cool. And it's a single that you have available now on Bandcamp as well.
Yeah,
There's a story behind that.
Yeah, there's a story behind that. You can only download it. You can't buy that one.
Okay.
But like people request me to do this song all the time at my shows.
Okay.
So it's like I make sure if I go someplace,
Check it
I
out,
do
get down here. Got it.
Yeah.
So he brought it here, and this is definitely a showcase about you. So I'm so glad you decided to bring it. So The Return, check him out right now, Super King.
Let's do it.
Queens, New York City, stand up. Wake up. One man shouldn't have all that power. It's a phrase reserved for those who didn't work the long hours. When I return and see the face of these cowards, don't switch teams because you lost face and got devoured. Because I return like a hurricane, I will overcome all my inner pain. I won't be faced by all the dirt they flung. I say that I'm sick and easy to be that way. Because I return like a hurricane, I will overcome all my inner pain. I won't be faced by all the dirt they flung. I say that I'm sick and easy to be that way. You say he dropped the jewel before the first breath because you didn't want the smooth that yet no hubris or a huge head for swole neck. Complex, no ego check. Silent assassin with the wardrobe as a strong chest. Set down the play chest, already got checks. 8th rank journal, warlord of the upset. Blackouts like commands on the black silk dress. Still water with the deepness. Runners exit, you rushed in when you didn't even learn the rules yet. Thought you were playing craps when it's Russian roulette. No boxing couldn't to accompany my tool set. No revenge in my plans, homie, don't be foolish. No, birthday fling. I say them secrets easy to beat them. That way you say he dropped the jewel before the first breath because you dealing with a smooth hit. Get no hubris or a huge head for swole neck. Complex, no little check. Silent assassin with the vulture man's a strong chest. Set down the play chess and already got checked. 8th Ranger, a warlord of the upset. Black ghost like chameleons on a black silk dress. Still water with the deepness. Run his exec, you rushed in when you didn't even know the rules yet. Thought you were playing craps when it's Russian roulette. No boxing couldn't to accompany my tool set. No revenge in my plans, homie, don't be foolish. No, you must be cool to see the ball here with the smoothness. But homie, I've been through it thick and thin. Not a spectator, participator, so made risk taker. If you're not with me now, then don't be with me later. Because I return like a hurricane. I will overcome all the inner pain. I won't be faced with all the dirt they fling. I say them secrets easy to beat them that way. Because I return like a hurricane. I will overcome all my inner pain. I won't be faced with all the dirt they fling. I say them secrets easy to beat them that way. Return like Malcolm X from his pilgrimage to Mecca. A changed man and letting us all stronger and better. Leaving the old order, refusing to follow man-made leaders. On my own record label, and now welcome is precious. And mine's in God's hands, no one can treat me better. I return like Jesus after 3 days of being dead. Knowing those that were true to you by my side when I bled. With that said, me and my mom's relationship rocky as hell. But no, I saved through your letters and her personal voicemails. And I use what you went through and go through as my avenue to do what you didn't do. And trust what I glean from you. It's this attitude to take and that way for to be given to you. Because this game will work you to death with nothing in return. As for ends of the candles to burn, making it harder to earn. As the clock hands of destiny turns, fire will burn. Renegades must stay paid upon my return. Because I return like a hurricane. I will overcome all my inner pain. I won't be faced with all the dirt they fling. I say that I'm simply teasing to beat them that way. Because I return like a hurricane. I won't all my inner pain. I won't be faced with all the dirt they fling. I say that I'm simply teasing to beat them that way. Like a hurricane. Yeah, all my inner pain. All the dirt they fling. I say that I'm simply teasing to beat them that way. Yeah, like a hurricane. Yeah, all my inner pain. All the dirt they fling. I say that I'm simply teasing to beat them that way now. Off top of my head, it's sort of like a brain diver going on top of his head. No, I bring the words back so you know that the legs move just as fast as like a track running ledge. Like my name is Jackie joining cursor, somebody better. Super King armor followed run to the final letter. That's a A to Z or hotter than AZ, or it's Nas and AZ. That's just nasty as me, but there is no other. There is my competition, cause my own man look in the mirror, that is my position. Cause I look better the more that I shine. No, I look better the more that I grind. Cause there's nothing more than mountains that I'm always gonna climb. I see the sun at the peak, and yeah, I'm gonna shine. Yeah, I'm always out for mines, and I'm gonna be taking mines. It's like drop of a dime, but I'm not dropping any dimes, but more like I be dropping them dimes because I leave you rich in jewels. When you see mines, it's like all the time that I know I'm on mines. It's like I take up my grind, and I'm always gonna climb now. I return like a hurricane on the harbor. No, it's the man, it's the Super King armor. I take off my armor so you can feel my heart. It's like an open heart surgery. You can tear me apart, but you pick me apart or begin to dissect. All you know is that the man was around with intellect or something that's true. Even though I'm in debt, I still raise the money on my style cause I always collect like,
Yeah.
Word.
What's going on, guys? This is Josh here, also known as J La Soul. I am the host and creator of the Soul Sessions that are here at Funkadelic Studios every last Friday of the month. Alright, so please come out. And the Soul Sessions are exactly that. They are a session for everyone's souls. You know, like life is crazy, everyone has their challenges and their tribulations. The Soul Sessions is a place where you come, just get that healing from music and just the vibes that are around in the area. And from all the different kinds of artists. Please come out. We have 10 open micers. Anyone can sign up for that. So it's a show early. And we have 3 amazing features for you guys every time to just blow your mind. So definitely come out every last Friday, and we hope to see you guys.
If you are a musician in NYC and you haven't visited Funkadelic Studios yet, what are you waiting for? We've been around for about a quarter of a century, offering services to musicians of all skill levels. Some of the services we offer are rental, repair, recording studio, rehearsal space, rock and roll club, and of course, retail. That's right, we can sell you equipment. And you can even do your events here. We have a beautiful, spacious room right back there. It's called Room 1, and we have lots of other rooms where you can do lots of other things. So come on down.
All right, guys, that was Super King, and that was The Return.
The Return.
The most requested all the time as we see The Return. I've definitely heard it before now that I heard you play it.
Word.
So yeah, shout out to you on that. Just being an artist and being real and doing you. You can buy that right now on this Bandcamp. You can download that one.
Yeah,
you
download that
buy.
one. Yeah.
So yeah, listen and pay attention. The good thing I wanted to say for later is I recently heard that you have you won a competition or performance called Supreme Bars. Can you tell us a little bit about us and tell us what it's all about and why it's so important? Because you did your thing, I heard it in the street. I heard it in the street.
Word in the street is
Right.
I was getting busy, man. It's a competition where like all of the MCs that are currently in the scene doing their thing in New York City go to, and also beat makers go to, and it's run by the good homie Analogy, aka Roberto De Jesus, good brother there. He organized, put that whole thing together, and it's like a who's who comes out there, for the most part of every generation I've known since far in New York City. Come out there. And it's not like a battle rap competition where you go head to head with somebody.
Okay.
You gotta utilize topics, and most of the stuff you have to refer to is video footage. So you have to be able to freestyle about what you see and put it into your own kind of words and stuff like that.
So they show a video. Each person has to freestyle based on that topic of the video by themselves.
Absolutely. And talk about that topic.
In that moment right there. It's not something you wrote at home and came up with
there's no way you could do it because it's like you have to pay attention to what's on the
I gotta come check this out.
Yeah, man. It's every second Tuesday of the month now, I believe, at Pianos. But if you Google Supreme Bars, you'll be able to find it.
Second Tuesday. So I'm definitely check that out. Congratulations to you on that win. And
yeah, man, that was pretty interesting because he has a topic for every single show, and this topic was comic books and Stan Lee, because Stan Lee just passed away.
Yeah.
And so
shout out to Stan Lee.
Yeah, for real. And so it was everything revolving around the kind of stuff that he's done. And I'm recently about to publish my first illustration book because I'm also an artist. So I draw. Yeah.
So that was a perfect segue in,
Yeah.
Because I'm you have to know about comic books sort of to really be able to put your mind into that. Because me thinking, I'm I would be freaking out. I don't know. I've seen a couple of movies, but I don't know comic books. If I had to come against somebody who had some comic book knowledge, I would be tonight's not my night.
Yeah.
So that's dope. And the fact that you're an illustrator and you produce your own material, that's something you can even pull from. But hey, look.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah,
for real. And it's based off of my album, Going Is the Illusion. So every song is an illustration in the book. And
so you're doing... I know Beyonce do video illustrations for her album, so you're taking yours from a video to an illustration book, a whole thing.
Yeah.
Wow, pretty dope. Might change the game up, huh?
Yeah, I'm 2 weeks away from receiving it, man.
2 weeks?
2 weeks away. As of today, 2 weeks left.
Oh, wow.
It's been a journey, man. It's been a journey, bro. 5 years, man.
5 years?
Yeah. Because I've never published a book before in my life, so there was the whole journey of having to actually learn how to